The moment Kanye West spoke, something didn't just feel off, it felt heavy. Like a truth that wasn't meant to surface yet, suddenly forced into the light. At first, it sounded like just another headline. Just another shocking claim in a world already flooded with noise. But then the names started echoing, T.I. Rick Ross, Jay-Z. And just like that, everything changed. Because this wasn't just gossip anymore. This was something deeper, something uncomfortable. You could feel it in the silence that followed. In the way fans stopped scrolling, replayed the clip, looked at each other like, did he really just say that? And maybe the most disturbing part isn't even what was said. It's the timing. Why now? Why bring this up at a moment when tensions are already high, when reputations are already fragile, when one statement can break everything people spent decades building? And somewhere in the background, watching, calculating, is 50 Cent. A man who doesn't just react to chaos, he understands it, shapes it, turns it into something bigger. So now the question isn't just what happened, it's what's about to happen next. Because in a world where perception spreads faster than truth, where one voice can shift millions of minds overnight, this isn't just a story anymore. It's a moment, a breaking point. And once you hear it, once you feel the weight behind it, there's no going back. The moment Kanye West spoke, the entire hip-hop world held its breath. It wasn't just the words themselves, it was the weight behind them. When Kanye confirmed that T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z had been involved in something far more personal than anyone expected, the internet didn't know whether to gasp or collapse. The statement rippled across social media like a shockwave, leaving fans stunned, furious, and, in some cases, heartbroken. This wasn't just gossip. This wasn't some half-baked rumor floating on Twitter. This was a confirmation from one of the most influential voices in music, a man whose words carry weight beyond albums, awards, and headlines. Kanye didn't speak lightly. He delivered a confession that left the hip-hop world in a state of suspended disbelief. And then came the silence. For hours, nothing happened. Fans replayed the clip, dissecting every syllable. What did Kanye really mean? Was there context? Was this strategic? Was this a warning, or a confession meant to destabilize a tightly controlled narrative? Questions multiplied faster than anyone could scroll. Every timeline was ablaze with speculation. Emojis of shock, disbelief, and even sorrow flooded comment sections. People were crying, arguing, even laughing nervously, trying to process what they'd just heard. But the shock only deepened when people realized who else was watching. Behind the scenes, 50 Cent, the master manipulator of viral chaos, was already calculating. Every eye, every statement, every reaction had become part of a larger story, one that he could control without saying a single word publicly. 50 Cent isn't just a rapper, he's a strategist, a cultural puppeteer who understands that perception can be weaponized far more effectively than truth. And with Kanye's revelation dropping like a bomb, the stage was perfectly set. The impact wasn't just emotional, it was personal. Fans began connecting dots from decades-old relationships, infamous studio sessions, private moments captured in stories whispered for years. Names that were once untouchable, almost sacred in the hip-hop pantheon, suddenly felt human. Vulnerable. Exposed. And in that exposure, there was something deeply tragic, a reminder that fame, power, and influence cannot shield you from the scrutiny of the world. Think about it. T.I., one of the most celebrated figures in Southern hip-hop, whose life has been chronicled on and off the stage, suddenly finds his personal life dissected in real time. Rick Ross, a man whose empire of records, branding, and persona has always projected control, is now caught in a narrative he didn't choose. And Jay-Z, the mogul, the billionaire, the cultural icon, pulled into something intensely private, something that challenges the carefully constructed public image of success and invincibility. The emotional weight of the moment was staggering. Fans flooded social media with messages that were a mix of awe, heartbreak, and outrage. Some cried for the apparent betrayal of trust. Others were fascinated by the sheer audacity of the revelation. And for many, the intensity was overwhelming, because this wasn't just a story of scandal, it was a story about human fragility, the consequences of choices, and the brutal intersection of fame and secrecy. And yet, even in the middle of this chaos, the narrative was far from clear. Kanye's words were a spark, But the fire was fueled by decades of tension, rivalry, alliances, and betrayals. Every mention of T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z carried decades of history. Every reaction wasn't just about a moment, it was about a lifetime of interconnected stories, alliances, and grudges. And in the midst of all this, the audience couldn't help but feel something primal. The tragedy of watching icons fall in ways that feel both inevitable and heartbreaking. Social media became a courtroom, a confessional, and a war zone all at once. Clips of Kanye's statement went viral across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Every repost, every reaction video, every meme only amplified the tension. The emotional resonance wasn't just about the scandal, it was about power, influence, and the fragility of the legends we admire. And in the shadows of all this, 50 Cent moved like a ghost in the machinery. He didn't need to make a statement. He didn't need to take sides. His presence alone, hinted at by strategic posts, cryptic captions, and historical context, reminded the world that in this game, every revelation has a purpose, every story is calculated, and every reaction can be weaponized. He had shown this before with other high-profile documentaries, and now, with Kanye's confirmation, the formula was being rewritten. By the end of the first hours, one truth became undeniable: this wasn't just another story. This was a high-stakes moment where emotion, strategy, and shock collided. Where the weight of celebrity could crush, confound, and captivate all at once. Fans weren't just spectators, they were living through a narrative that felt larger than life, more intense than fiction, and heartbreakingly real. Because in hip-hop, some moments aren't meant to be ignored. Some truths aren't meant to be forgotten. And some revelations will change everything you thought you knew about the people you admired forever. The stage was set. The players were revealed. And the world was left asking the same question: what happens next, when the private becomes public, and the unspoken can never be unseen? As Kanye's words reverberated across the internet, the aftermath didn't just arrive, it exploded. Social media feeds flooded with disbelief, rage, and sorrow. Emojis of broken hearts, crying faces, and shocked eyes plastered timelines. Fans weren't just reacting, they were living the revelation, feeling as if someone had ripped open the curtain behind the glamour of fame. T.I. was the first to respond publicly, but even his measured statement carried the weight of decades of reputation teetering on the edge. He acknowledged the claims, but carefully framed his words: some stories are built on misunderstanding, some are built to hurt. I've lived a life in the spotlight, but nothing prepares you for this kind of exposure. His voice, heavy with a rare vulnerability, left fans shaken. For once, the bravado was gone, replaced by humanity under siege. Rick Ross followed, less with words and more through silence, a silence louder than any statement. Every paparazzi flash, every public appearance, and every studio session was dissected for meaning. Fans debated endlessly: was Rosie retreating to protect his empire? Or was he silently plotting a counter-strategy? The tension in the air was palpable, a collective emotional tightrope walked by millions online. And then there was Jay-Z, normally untouchable, the mogul and billionaire, stayed quiet. But even his silence became an emotional weapon, leaving audiences guessing, theorizing, and obsessing over every past interaction. With Jay-Z, every glance, every post, every track now carried unprecedented significance. People weren't just watching celebrities, they were witnessing the fallibility of legends. Amid this swirling chaos, 50 Cent observed in the shadows. Like a master chess player, he let the narrative unfold exactly as he intended. Every reaction from T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z amplified the story's emotional gravity. Fans argued, cried, laughed nervously, and shared every clip relentlessly. 50 Cent didn't have to speak, he didn't need to. He understood the architecture of viral emotional engagement. Timing, perception, and suspense are more powerful than facts alone. Meanwhile, the digital audience became part of the story. TikTok clips dissected every syllable of Kanye's statement. YouTube reaction videos exploded overnight, each more emotional than the last. Instagram reels mashed together images of T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z with captions that questioned loyalty, integrity, and truth. This wasn't just content, it was a collective emotional experience, a public trial where millions judged, mourned, and gossiped simultaneously. And yet, the most heartbreaking layer was unseen by cameras: the human cost. Families felt the pressure. Friends hesitated to comment. Careers that had taken decades to build teetered under the weight of one confirmation from Kanye West. For the audience, it was a tragedy wrapped in glamour, a story that felt intimate yet untouchable, like staring at a storm while standing on fragile ground. The strategic timing of the revelation only intensified the fallout. Dropped after months of media tension, right when whispers about T.I.'s legal battles and Rick Ross's personal life were reaching fever pitch, Kanye's confirmation acted like a match in a powder keg. Fans couldn't escape the intensity. Every scroll reminded them that these weren't just stories. They were lives, legacies, and reputations under siege. Speculation reached a fever pitch when insiders hinted that 50 Cent might be preparing his next move. The same man who had turned the Diddy documentary into a cultural earthquake was reportedly planning his own commentary or project, and the audience could sense the tension building in real time. Every post, every cryptic message, every hint at a next chapter only fueled the suspense. Emotionally, the public was caught between awe and heartbreak. For some, seeing T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z pulled into such a deeply personal narrative was devastating, an uncomfortable reminder that fame cannot shield you from exposure. For others, it was thrilling, electrifying, almost cinematic, like witnessing a live drama unfold where each heartbeat felt magnified by the chaos surrounding it. By the end of the first 48 hours, one thing was undeniable: the story had outgrown its initial revelation. This wasn't just Kanye's confession. This wasn't just social media speculation. It had become a living, breathing narrative, a cultural moment where emotions, strategy, and celebrity collided in ways that left millions on edge. The heartbreak, the outrage, the suspense, it all blended into a viral spectacle that couldn't be ignored. And through it all, the audience was left asking, who controls the narrative now? Can anyone survive this level of public scrutiny? In a world where perception often outweighs reality, and where silence can speak louder than words, hip-hop had entered a new era of emotional intensity, and no one, not even legends, was untouchable. As the storm raged on, it became clear that this revelation wasn't just a moment, it was a turning point. Kanye's confirmation had triggered a cascade of reactions that rippled through hip-hop, social media, and the entertainment industry at large. But the most intense drama wasn't just on the screens, it was happening in the hearts and minds of everyone involved. T.I. faced an emotional crossroads. Once untouchable in his circle, he now had to navigate a public wave of judgment that felt inescapable. Every appearance, every post, every statement was scrutinized. Fans debated endlessly about his character, his decisions, and his history. Even longtime supporters found themselves questioning the man behind the music. The heartbreak was real. T.I. wasn't just defending a narrative, he was defending his own life, his legacy, and his family under the unrelenting gaze of millions. Rick Ross's strategy, meanwhile, was silence, but the silence spoke volumes. Every non-response became a focal point for speculation. Was Rosie distancing himself to protect his empire? Was he letting Kanye's revelation run its course before retaliating? Each passing hour magnified the suspense, leaving fans on edge and every rumor feeling like truth. The emotional pressure on him was invisible but devastating, a quiet storm that fans felt in every viral thread, every news cycle. Jay-Z's reaction, or lack thereof, was arguably the most electrifying element of all. The mogul's silence became a weaponized narrative in itself, turning the rumor mill into a global investigation. Every appearance he made, every track he dropped, every business move was now under a microscope. What had once been influence now became vulnerability. The digital audience dissected every angle, every clip, every historical reference, searching for clues that might justify anger, empathy, or disbelief. And lurking above it all was 50 Cent watching, calculating, strategizing. He understood, more than anyone, that in this era, perception could outweigh fact, and timing could be more devastating than truth. Every tweet, every post, every hint of a documentary or leak kept fans in a constant state of suspense. For 50 Cent, the drama itself was the weapon, an emotional chessboard where the moves were measured not in inches but in heartbeats, viral impressions, and cultural impact. Meanwhile, the digital public became part of the narrative. TikTok videos dissected Kanye's words frame by frame. YouTube reactors analyzed every inflection, every pause. Instagram stories speculated on alliances, betrayals, and unspoken tensions. Fans weren't just observers, they were participants, amplifying the suspense, magnifying the heartbreak, and turning a single revelation into a cultural event. But beyond the virality lay a deeper, more emotional truth. For the audience, there was heartbreak, fascination, and anxiety, sometimes all at once. Seeing legends like T.I., Rick Ross, and Jay-Z caught in a maelstrom of rumor, strategy, and exposure reminded fans that fame doesn't protect you from human vulnerability. The emotional intensity was raw, an uncomfortable, mesmerizing glimpse into lives normally hidden behind glitz, glamour, and power. As the drama unfolded, one question loomed large: what next? Would Kanye continue revealing the inner workings of these relationships? Would 50 Cent escalate, turning suspense into a full-blown documentary war? Or would silence, the ultimate weapon, dominate again? In this new era, every second, every post, every reaction could reshape the narrative forever. Ultimately, this was more than gossip. This was a high-stakes story about power, perception, and human fragility. It reminded fans that the icons they admire are not invincible. They are human, capable of heartbreak, mistakes, and manipulation. And in a world where truth and timing collide, the emotional weight of one revelation can ripple for months, reshaping legacies and leaving audiences simultaneously shocked, moved, and enthralled. The tale of Kanye, T.I., Rick Ross, Jay-Z, and 50 Cent isn't just a story. It's a masterclass in emotional intensity, narrative control, and viral drama. It's a reminder that in hip-hop, perception often trumps reality, and that a single moment, a single statement, or a single silence can change everything. And as fans continue to scroll, react, and speculate, one truth is unavoidable: the story isn't over. Every post, every reaction, every viral moment is another heartbeat in a saga that will be remembered, not just for the shock, but for the raw, unfiltered human emotion it unleashed. If you thought this saga was shocking so far, buckle up, because the story is far from over. What you've just witnessed isn't just a moment in hip-hop history. It's a cultural earthquake, a reminder that the lives of our idols are far more complicated, raw, and fragile than we ever imagined. T.I., Rick Ross, Jay-Z, and Kanye West aren't just names. They are human beings, navigating power, perception, and heartbreak in real time, while the world watches every move. Now, the question isn't just about what happened. It's about what comes next. Will secrets continue to unravel? Will alliances shift? Will 50 Cent push the narrative further, turning speculation into another full-blown documentary event? And most importantly, how will the people at the center of it all respond when the eyes of millions are locked on them, dissecting every word, every silence, every post? For you, the audience, this is more than entertainment. It's an invitation to witness history in motion, to feel the tension, the heartbreak, and the suspense alongside the very figures who shaped hip-hop culture. Every comment you leave, every share, every theory you discuss adds to the unfolding drama. You are no longer just watching, you are part of the story. So don't blink. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay glued to the channel, because in this world, a single revelation can change everything. And the next shockwave? It could drop at any moment. Be ready. Be vigilant. And most importantly, feel it all. The drama, the heartbreak, the raw emotion, it's all here, and it's only going to get more intense. Because in hip-hop, in power, and in truth, sometimes the most explosive moments are yet to come.